Steve Morgan here, Australian Bass Tournaments. We've just finished the first round of the 2022 Daiwa BREAM Series, sponsored by Maui Gym at Mallacoota in Victoria. And hey, busy time to run a tournament. It's sort of the height of the COVID pandemic. But everyone got together. We had nearly 50 boats and a whole lot of non-boaters fishing for over $10,000 in cash and plenty of great prizes. I've got Tommy Wood with me. Tommy Wood, the Barra guy, who's the current one of the Barra Team of the Year members.
Yep.
And another Barra guy, Steve Morgan here. I'm now a Barra guy that fishes for BREAM. Won the boater and the non-boater division of this event. And just want to run through some of the tackle and techniques that we use so that if you go to Mallacoota, you might be able to try the same things. Tommy, your very first ABT BREAM event from the back of the boat, how was the experience?
Oh, it was great. You know, I've always watched these events down here since I was a kid on the AFC, and I got to fish with Scotty Towner on my first day, which was a dream come true, and second day I got to fish with Hodgie, so had two of the best guys there to fish with, and they put me on some good fish, so had a great time.
Well, put you on some good fish. I think the words from Hodgie was today that you were schooling him from the back of the boat. You know, had the right baits and you had the right tackle and techniques to do it. Now, you're typically a Barra guy.
Yep.
This is what you're normally chucking. I don't know why you brought it to Victoria for. I didn't know if you're going to use it for upgrades, but the black gold slicky on the big Samaki, mate, that gets the job done for you in the freshwater.
Yep, did the job this weekend. When they were tailing in the flats, drop a 1 ounce slicky on their head and jag them with the SL12.
There you go. Put that away. It's not Barra season yet. That starts in September. I suppose going from catching gigantic metre plus fish to BREAM, levels of excitement any different, or is it just tournament fishing gets you going?
Yeah, the tournament scene is huge. Like the nerves you get, whatever size fish it is, a BREAM, a Barra, it's all awesome. So yeah, it's good fun.
You noticed you look a little bit nervous when it came to the reveal of the top two boaters we had. We had you and Stewie Walker, who's won at least, I think, 9 times from the back of the boat. He's won 6 AOY titles, and it was you and him it came down to. We turned the scoreboards off at 12 o'clock, so you didn't really know who was going to end up on top.
Yep.
Tell us about your last upgrade that got you over for the win.
Yeah, it was good. Hodgie made the last minute move, so we had about an hour left, and he made a move to another flat, and we were catching him on surface all day. And he was throwing a little zip and ziggy, and I was throwing a smaller size topwater lure, which is the Daiwa in-feet slippery dog.
Yeah, the little slippery dog, that one there. And how are you working that?
Pretty fast, actually, giving it a good burn, and then as soon as I see a couple boils, I'd slow down, give it a pause, and the fish were just grabbing those back assist hooks, so I had super light drag just to keep them pinned, and yeah, got a couple of big fish on the end.
I think Hodgie mentioned that that smaller bait was the key today. He didn't have any real small baits. I didn't think of loaning him any, or what? Or was that your last one?
Yeah, well, I had only one more left, and I'm lucky enough I won a couple of these in the prize pack. So
you got a restock now.
Yep.
Take us back to your day with Scotty Towner.
Yep.
I noticed on the highlights last night he was giving you a few plastic lessons, and you grabbed one of his plastics to have a go. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so me and Scotty, we did a fair bit of different stuff. We started off throwing plastics, jerk baits, and then we went through to crankbaits later in the day, and Scotty was braining them on soft plastic straight up, and I said, Scotty, do you mind if I pick up a plastic? And first cast, banged one, so we got on a bit of a bite, and I was just throwing the Samaki 2.5 inch grubs there in motor roll with a 1/16 jighead on it. And later on in the day, just moved to little crankbaits, chubbies, that's a Daiwa spike.
Yep.
And that was with 4 pound straight through fluoro.
So your first tournament from the back of the boat, you did the plastic thing, you did the top water thing, you did the hard body thing, and came out on top.
Yeah, no, it was good. I got to see everything, do all the different techniques, fish totally different ways each day, and big learning experience. So,
well, they do say who shares wins, and these guys share their knowledge. You benefit from it. You do know that you've now won an event, and now you qualify for the grand final, which is actually right here at Mallacoota in November. So, mate, I don't know how you're going to get from the Barra Tour down to here. You're going to have to do what we do and put in the miles.
Yeah, it's a good excuse to come back down, I think.
I think we might have to hire you as a driver or something like to come and do it. Look, I've had a love-hate relationship with Mallacoota. In the 2010 grand final, I was coming third going into the last day, and it was an epic edge bite. Edge fishing was awesome for me. So for the last 10 years, I've been trying to replicate that, and not very successfully at all. We came to Mallacoota this time. You probably haven't seen it before, but often it gets nearly a metre higher up into the edges. So all of the edge snags, little beaches come into play. And when I came here this time, it seems like a lot of the lake's full of that the zostra grass, the eel grass. And a lot of the beaches I used to fish, you sort of couldn't find them anymore, or the fish weren't there, and the whole place had changed. I had a really crappy pre-fish. I only caught one big fish on the pre-fish, which I think I showed. I put the highlights up for that. It was a big, like, killer yellowfin on a pink rub. I always say be wary of the guy that only catches one good fish in pre-fish, because they're not running all around the lake. And that's eventually what I did. I went to that spot where I found that big yellowfin. It was no good conditions for sight fishing. Practice day was sunny, bright, could see all the fish. Both days of the tournament were just like this. They were overcast, a little bit drizzly today, and it ended up being ideal topwater conditions. And I did what I normally do at about 9 or 10 in the morning when I'm sucking. I just pick a spot, put the trolling motor down, and I fish everything. And that was a place called Fairhaven up in the Mallacoota Lake.
Yep.
Shanked one on a topwater that I think we saw in the highlights last night. Shanked another one on a stick minnow where I tried to pole it and thought I was a barra fisherman again. And but eventually ended up right up the end of that flat at the end of that Fairhaven arm, and we found a set of snags. Well, I did have no boat yesterday. Found a set of snags that all of a sudden, bang, 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 had a really good session. Maybe caught 10 or 15 fish. Checked a few other spots out, but at the end of the session, I went back to those snags and got like a 36, a 37, 36.5 centimetre fish, which put me up into second place. So, of course, I had no other ideas. I started there this morning, second boat out, got there. I turned around, there were 6 boats behind me. Obviously, it was a really popular spot that a lot of people like fishing. So all I did was let those bush boats push me further up and further into the back of this this little lake, I suppose, that was there. And a lot of the guys must have thought it was too shallow, me included, but we thought, hey, let's go down here. I was with Stewie Walker today. We fished down at the back of this lake. Fished topwaters nearly all day. The most predominant one I fish is this. This is the white bent minnow. It's a bit of my signature colour that I like using, but I also use the peach face colour a fair bit. That white bent minnow, and right at the end, the little jackal bent minnow, or whatever it's called, don't even know what it's called, on that Daiwa Revelry reel that I'm doing a test on for the magazine at the moment, and the 7'3" in-feet rod. That I found could get the distance in the really shallow water. Now, when I say really shallow water, I mean we were fishing 1 to 2 feet of water the whole time. The technique for the bent minnows for blacks is a little bit more gentle. With the yellowfins, I'd be ripping that bent minnow, tearing along. The yellowfin come in, they crash tackle it. Blacks are a lot more subtle. The best retrieve, I suppose, for a black bream is you throw it out, you twitch it a little bit, put your rod on the arm, start eating a sandwich, or start doing something else in the boat. And 3 or 4 times, as I was doing that, they would actually eat it when it's doing nothing on top. So I learnt from that, slowed right down, and between Stewie Walker and I today, I reckon we must have caught 30 or 40 fish. Just with that real slow retrieve. When a black comes up behind it, they sort of tend to sort of suck it off the top or kiss it down a little bit, whereas a yellowfin will just belt it. And that's something that I suppose a northerner, a Queenslander, has to learn. Coming down here to the blacks, you've got to slow it down a little bit for those for the black bream. So awesome couple of days. You caught plenty of fish. Yep. I caught plenty of fish. Did it doing top water the whole time. Huge thanks to Maui Jim, who are the new ABT sunglass sponsor. We had a great relationship with Costa in the past, but they were overtaken by another company. They don't have event marketing money for us anymore. So we've formed a relationship with Maui Jim. I used the Mauis this weekend. We give plenty away as prizes. Yep. Big thanks to the guys from Maui Jim, and of course Daiwa, who are the naming sponsor, for getting it all up there. Had nearly 50 boats. Over 1,000 fish came in on the app. It was a fishy weekend. I know Nicole behind the scenes was working hard to make sure all of the results were up there. And hey, I think we all had a good time getting together after COVID. So from the Mallacoota champions, yep, we're off to Gippsland Lakes next. You can follow all of the coverage on www.abt.org.au. Live scoreboards all day on day 1 of the tournament, and then till midday on day 2. And at the end, we have that big reveal. It's finding out who won it. Tommy, he was excited. He liked the result. We'll see what happens at Gippsland Lakes.